Hi besties, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a bit of a June reset, which I cannot believe that we're in June already. It feels like this year is just flying past, but there has been so many magical memories, so I'm very happy. So we're going to go through the goals for the month, my monthly budget, and how we adjusted, and then we're going to set up for June, which is very exciting. I've shifted you down a little bit because I felt like I was craning my neck. But firstly, we're going to talk about May goals. The biggest goal that I achieved in May was that I started my new job. Very exciting. If you didn't know, I moved to Melbourne from Perth in December last year. So coming into Melbourne, which is a new market, a new city that I didn't have any connections in, it was quite difficult to find a job. I did end up finding a job, which I'm so passionate about. I feel so lucky to have this position. I feel like I've got a really great team. There's really good balance and I can see myself going pretty far in this organization. And most importantly, I feel really supported to grow and supported to learn, which is not something I've experienced a lot before, and I feel really grateful to have such an incredible opportunity. But I started this job at the very start of May, so I've been here almost a whole month, which is kind of crazy. I can already see how much I've grown and how much I'm learning. So that was my biggest goal of the year, not just of the last month, and I'm so happy to have ticked that off and to feel really settled and set up for success. Other goals I have are Pilates. I pay a weekly membership at a Pilates studio in Melbourne called Upstate. Obviously this month was the start of my new job, which was full-time, so I did struggle to fit everything in, but in the end I did 19 classes this month, which is incredible. It's about 4 to 5 classes a week, almost 5 classes a week actually. Because I pay a weekly fee, which we'll get into, I was able to calculate my per class total based on doing 19 classes this month. It came out to $11.60 per class. It's definitely not the cheapest workout in the world. On top of Pilates, I have been running. I set myself and my partner a challenge to run 5Ks by his birthday, which is in early June. I think I ran 7 runs this month, which is not a lot. I try and aim for twice a week, which is just what works for my body, and I'm still new to running, so I'm happy that I can just get out there, and I'm up to 4Ks continuous at the moment. Books is a big goal of mine. I want to read 50 books this year, and I am on path to do that, which is great. I only read 4 this month because I have been so busy with my new job, and I've just had a couple of clunky books. And my last goal is content. It's always been a goal since I was maybe 15, and it's a goal that I consistently fall down on, but I kind of made it, promised myself I'm gonna do more. So this is me saying to the universe I'm doing more content. Now we get into the budget, which is my favorite part. Like I said, this was my first month working full-time in quite a while. It was our first time being a double income, no kids household in almost 3 years. Definitely my biggest concern when starting full-time work was wanting to avoid lifestyle creep. I don't want to just spend aimlessly, so I kind of let this month be a figuring out month, which you'll see we kind of did some different things, and we had some unexpected expenses pop up, which is the way the world works. But there are some things that I am very cognizant of and things that I want to be in control of more coming into June. So that's something that we'll look at a lot as well. But for May, we did earn a total income of $17,734.54. We are in an extra privileged position of owning a house in WA and renting that out. So we are also earning a rental income. I have a second job on top of my full-time job. I do admin, like virtual assistant work for a company in WA, which I've been doing for 18 months now. So I earn about $1,320 a month from that, give or take. I did also get a final paycheck from my Perth job because I was working remote from there for a few months while I was in Melbourne, but that chapter officially closed, so I did get my final paycheck for that one. And I have included our spend from savings. I've been tossing up back and forth of how to track how we spend our savings. We had budgeted to spend $13,459.89 this month, but we did end up spending $14,519.85. Did have available $3,214.69 left remaining, which is incredible. First, let's look at savings. So like I said, I have a second job and I just put tax aside for that every month. It just helps me to feel a bit more secure at tax time. If we come and look at bills, our bills this month were pretty expensive. expected. Paid electricity, which was $67.89. Water, which was $270.55. Gas was $21. Pilates was $220. Like I said, it's not the cheapest, but it's worth it to me, and at the moment we have room for it in our budget, so it's fine. Mortgage insurance we pay monthly, home insurance we pay monthly, phone bills have come down, we've just kind of dropped our plan. Health insurance was expensive. I'm actually in the process of looking into getting a new health insurance because mine is quite a lot. It's almost double Sam's, and I don't have pregnancy cover or anything on mine, so that's my mission this week to look into. Our internet was expected, internet in Melbourne was expected. Mikey, which is the Melbourne public transport system, came to $134. I budgeted about $200, and then our rent was the same as it always is. Now looking at expenses, this is the area that we definitely struggled with this month. There was just a lot of things that we wanted to buy that we didn't really budget for, and we should have. We did also have quite a lot of unexpected expenses, both emergency and my trip to Perth got pulled up. I'm able to go a week earlier, which is incredibly lucky of me, but it did cause a few other things to come into this month. So groceries, I always budget $800. That's about $200 a week. It's just me and my partner, so that's pretty standard, and it was $810.92, so $10 difference. We only spent $251.61 out of the budgeted $600, so we did really well on dining out this month. It was really fuel. We only topped up once, so that was $61. Clothes, I did spend a bit on clothes, but I went into this month with that in budget, which is why I budgeted $400. Beauty, I went over budget. I budgeted $100 and I spent $154.19. I got my hair cut at the start of the month, which was $105, so already over budget. I thought it was going to be cheaper, and then we just needed some like moisturizers and hair conditioner and whatnot, so it went a little bit over. Entertainment was $236.10. Traveling, I didn't budget any money for traveling this month because I wasn't sure if we were going to book a trip. We ended up booking a trip, so the budget is blown, but that's okay. That's what that money from our savings spend came from. I budgeted $0, but we spent $2,412.16. We decided to book kind of a last minute trip to the snow in Victoria. Gifts, I budgeted $600 and I spent $679.91, which is quite high for gifts. We don't typically spend that much. I was going to budget a decent amount of gifts in June's budget because my husband's birthday is in June, but because my trip to Perth got brought up, I ended up buying my husband's birthday presents this month instead of when I was planning to buy them, which was next month, so I didn't budget for them initially. We also had a friend get engaged this month, so we sent them flowers because they're in Perth. And it was also Mother's Day. Pets was a big category for us this month. We budgeted $200, but we ended up spending $503.94. Unfortunately, on my second day in the office, came home and Mabel, our puppy, she was acting really weird and strange. We didn't really know what was going on, so we decided to take her to emergency. We were there for a few hours and she's fine in the end. She just had a little bit of pain. We think she might have eaten something that she shouldn't have. We did have to pay the emergency bill and we got some of it covered on pet insurance, but not all of it, so we were out of pocket a few $100s. Health, I budgeted $100. We only spent $49.47. Home improvements, we budgeted $600. We ended up spending $732. Bought a dryer this month, which is very exciting. We have a dryer back home, but it's quite old and we didn't bring it with us when we moved to Melbourne. So we bought a new dryer that came to $732. Garden, I didn't spend any money on. Coffees, we only spent $112.79, so much less than I budgeted, which was great. School and office supplies was a bigger one. We budgeted $50. I ended up spending $337.51. Had a subscription come out for Dropbox, which my partner has, but he's cancelled now. We had another, just like general school supplies. We had another subscription, which is now cancelled. And then he bought a camera for work calls and I bought my Apple Pencil. I got one for Christmas, but it got stolen when our house was broken into. So that's kind of where that money came from, but that's why that was a bit high. We didn't spend any money. Car, we didn't spend much money, only $17. Books, I didn't buy any books this month. I'm proud of me too. But I've been utilizing my library a lot. Sam's hobbies, I'd budgeted $75. He spent almost $200. It was $198.55. He's been going to a few more like community games and like buying things again that were stolen when our house was broken into, so I'm not stressed that we overspent in that category. Home general, we overspent by $67.45. We spent $117.45. We bought some blankets because we only had 2 blankets, so a bit of an overspend, but that's okay. Last one was Sam's clothes. He spent $82.42 on some ties, which he needs for school. And hobbies, I got a knitting kit, so that was $20. So we budgeted to spend $4,635 on expenses. We ended up spending $7,142.90, so quite a bit of difference. A lot of that difference is the traveling, which we didn't budget for. Other than that, I think everything else, we definitely overspent in some categories this month, but I don't think it was too lifestyle creepy. I think there were just things that we needed to spend and we just didn't budget for them as well as we could have, so I'll improve that for next month. My goals for this month are to keep working on the budget, making sure we're really solidified in that and really feel like we're really aligned on our money goals, so working towards that as we keep growing together. Maintaining Pilates, I'd love to keep doing 4 to 5 classes a week. Running, it will be my 5k run this month, so getting to do a 5k, which is very exciting. Books, I think I want to read 6 books this month. I think it will be possible. That's my ideal. And then content, I would love to do 4 YouTube videos. Start small, go from there, but make them really good ones. And I feel like this is a good one to start with. I have just duplicated my May budget into my June budget, and I'm just going to change the date first of all. I know that Sam will get the same income twice this month there, and I know that I will get the same twice this month. And then we also have our rent income. We'll have 4 weeks of rent, so the rent will be coming in 4 times. So overall, I'm going to start with a budget of an income of $12,483.46. Now, we shouldn't have any electricity in Perth, so I'm going to say that's a budget of 0. Water, we also just paid, so we shouldn't have any money there. Gas will keep us 35. Energy in Melbourne, I think we'll have, so I'm going to budget 250. I'm not really sure what the energy is here, so I'll just leave it at that. Pilates is 220. Mortgage insurance is the same every month. Home insurance is the same. I'm just going to bring it down so we can actually track the money better. Phone bills, like I said, have come down, so I'll change that one. Car insurance, we pay an annual car insurance. Health insurance, like I said, it's something I want to look into. Internet for both are what they are. Google subscription is only $450, so I'll bring that down. iCloud is what it is. Pet sinking fund. So this is something that we're aiming to set up. We are in a space where we're planning to cancel our pets insurance. The idea is we'll pay what we were paying into insurance into a sinking fund so that can kind of accrue on its own. It's also going to be an offset fund for us, so that makes more sense. Mikey, I'm going to keep at 200. Strata, I think our next strata bill will be due July 1st, so I'll pay it in June. That's $475. That's for our property in Perth. We pay that quarterly. Council rates, I think might come in July, not June. So I'm going to leave that for now. Audible, we pay Audible, and rent is rent. Budgeted bills for the month is $4,623.50. Okay, and now looking at expenses. Okay, so if we look at expenses, I'm going to keep the same budget for groceries, which was $800. I will also keep the same for dining out. I think we're going to take our friends out for dinner one night next month, so I'll keep that at $600 for now. Fuel is $150 because I think we'll do 2 fuel ups this month. Clothes, I'm going to bring down to $150. I'm not in the need for any clothes at the moment, so my plan is to not buy any this month. Beauty is $100. I don't anticipate that I'll need anything. Maybe a new facial sunscreen, but at the moment we're fine. Entertainment, I'm actually going to increase to $300. We're going to buy some more theatre tickets. We're going to go to Beetlejuice because our friend's coming in July. And I think we also want to go to the movies, so I'll just bump that up to $300. Traveling, I think there'll be some more expenses for the ski trip, so I'm just going to say $1,500. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to say $3,000 for traveling. I'm gonna say $2,000 for traveling. I think there's a few more expenses for the ski trip coming up, and we also have one more set of flights to book back to Perth and potentially a holiday. We're not really sure, but $2,000 should cover us, and I can up it if I want to. Gifts, I don't have any other birthdays in June apart from my husband's, but I've already bought all of his presents, so I'm just gonna say $150. Pets, don't think need anything. I'm gonna put $400 here because that's the savings for the sinking fund as well. Health, I would like to go to the doctors this month, so I'm gonna say $150 just in case. Home improvements, we need like a ladle and a silicone spoon, but that's really it, and I'm trying not to buy too much in the kitchen, so $50 should be plenty. Garden, I don't need anything, so $20 is fine. Coffee, I'm gonna keep it $300 because I am going away. Actually, dining out, I'm gonna increase to $800 because I am out in Perth. We're on holiday this month, so I'll increase that one. School and office supplies, $50 is fine. Sam's not doing any sports at the moment because it's off season for his sport, so I'll put that to $0. Car, we've got $50. I don't anticipate that we'll spend anything. Books is $60. I'm gonna drop that to $30. I don't need any more books. I would love to buy more, but I don't need any right now. Sam's hobbies, I'm gonna give him $100 this month. Home, general, I'll do $100 just in case. Clothes, I think he wants some shoes, so we'll do $300. And my hobbies, I think $40 is fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. So overall, the budget I have for expenses this month is $6,040, which is less than we spent last month, but I don't anticipate we'll need to spend as much this month, hopefully. That's good. I'm feeling really good about that. Savings as well. I'm just going to go in and delete all of my transactions from May now. Okay, so this is the tricky part. My budgeted expenses for the month is $15,063.50, which is more than our income. Oh, I can already see some areas. So I'm going to remove the holiday savings because I've budgeted to spend on holidays, but I am going to drop that to $1,000 just because we don't need to buy the flights right now. What else can we drop? I'm going to drop my clothes to $100 because I only want some tank tops this month. I don't need anything. Health, $150 is fine. Sam needs some shoes, so that's fine. Oh, I have included my tax, but I haven't included that income yet, so I'm just going to delete that for now. What else can we drop off? Gifts, I'm going to drop that to $100. I don't think we need to be spending that much. Entertainment will only be $200. We'll overspend, but we'll get the money back from our friend. So that'll even out in the wash. Okay, and now we're under budget, which is great. And I don't feel too restricted, which is amazing. Our budgeted income, not including my additional income, is $12,483.46. And I've budgeted to spend $12,463.50. Like I said, there is more money coming in than what I've budgeted for, but I prefer to under budget and over save. But other than that, I feel pretty happy with that budget. Obviously we do have some big bills coming out this month, but we've been saving for those bills, so it's not going to be a big issue. It'll just come straight out of our bills account, which is the benefit of setting that one up. But overall, I feel really happy with this. I think it was a good demonstration of kind of how I budget and then pare down, because I never want to be over budget and risking spending too much money. We kind of have for a while, and that was out of necessity because we weren't earning enough to do anything. But now we're at a really comfortable space, so everything feels really good. That's everything for my June reset. I'm ready to start the new month fresh. I get to start it in such an exciting way with my friends and my family, and then getting to see one of my special people get married. That's just incredible, and I feel so lucky to be there with them. I hope you liked this video. I really enjoyed filming it, and I can't wait to do more. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe down below, and I'll see you all in my next video. Love you so much. Have a great day. Bye.